Hello, how are you doing? Welcome to Aprende en Casa. I'm teacher Evelyn and I'm very excited to be here with you. To start today's lesson, we're going to watch a short video. It's presented by Pau. She's a great student. So go and tell your family to join us and watch the video with us.
How's it going? Today's video is going to be about sustainable practices. Sometimes close to my neighborhood, a group of people set up a spot where we can all leave our recycling materials. As I was doing my part, I thought about what is our country doing to help with these practices. So I did some research online and read that Costa Rica is a country who takes pride in working towards adopting practices that reduce its impact on the environment. Now, how true is that? Well, let's see 3 actions our country is taking to help. Number 3, more than a quarter of our whole country is protected. Number 2, we produce most of our energy from renewable sources like water and wind. Number 1, recycling increased 469% in only 2 years. But even if we are working to fight for a planet, there are many other good things we can do to continue improving, like our usage of pesticides, which is proportionally one of the highest in the world, or the fact that we set a goal to achieve carbon neutrality by 2021. We will never achieve sustainability if, for example, I reduce my consumption, but someone else throws their trash in a lake. We have to do this together. Are you doing your part? See ya! Bye!
What do you think about Paola's advice? Did she convince you to join to the green side? By the way, how green do you think you are? This is a very important issue we all should think about, right? Well, today we're going to have a very nice lesson about sustainability in Costa Rica. Interesting, right? I hope you enjoy and learn a lot today. Well, so let's get ready. For this lesson, we're going to need the following materials: a pen, or could be a pencil, a sharpener, an eraser, and of course, our English notebook. And some important reminders: try to work in a quiet place, avoid loud noises, and wash your hands to prevent COVID-19. Remember to stay safe. Very good. I want to share with you our plan for today's lesson. Okay, let's see what we're going to study today in this lesson. Very good. In this class, we're going to learn many new things about sustainability, right, in Costa Rica. What do you know about that? How much do you know about that? Okay, very good. So let's see what we're going to learn today. Okay, plan for today's class. In this class, we're going to read to interpret the important information in a simple, clearly drafted newsletter. Very good. Okay, excellent. So now you know that what we're going to learn today. So before doing that, let's play a memory game. Do you like playing games? Okay, let's see how much you remembered about what you have learned during the past weeks. Okay, what do you think? Great. Okay, so you are going to watch to see a word, and then you are going to find a picture that represents the word by picking the correct card. Are you ready? You can tell your family to help you, okay? So let's begin. Okay, the first word is eco-friendly. So let's look at the different pictures. Pesticides, footprint. What do you think represents the word eco-friendly? Okay, let's look at the answer. Yeah, very good. That picture, those are two hands holding some leaves, right? So remember that being eco-friendly is going to help our planet. Okay, let's go to the second word, recycle. Let's look at the options. Here you have a planet, and then the other planet, a footprint, and some pesticides. Which one is the correct? Let's look at the answer. Very good. Remember to recycle, to reduce and reuse, right? To help our planet again. And finally, let's look at the last word. Carbon footprint. Look at the pictures. Okay, here we have some pictures. Think which one represents that word. Carbon footprint. Let's look at the correct answer. Very good. Look at the footprint here that is green. Excellent job, guys. Very good. Okay, very good. Now I want to present you what we're going to do today. Let's pay attention. Okay, let's imagine a friend of yours from Europe is asking you about the sustainability efforts Costa Rica is making to protect the environment. So you are going to write a short reply in the form of an email telling him or her about the different actions that our country has taken to promote eco-friendly practices. So you decided to do some reading to learn more about it, to write the email. Okay, very good. Before doing that, let's begin by reviewing some important sentence frames and elements you will need to complete the reading tasks today. By the way, what is the best way to explore a reading? Let me introduce you some tips. Okay, how to get the gist in a reading? Well, it is the most important general information without details. Try to pick up keywords and other clues to make a guess of the meaning. General information is usually found at the beginning of the passage. Then we have this about the superlatives. Costa Rica received the latest Biosphere Reserve declaration by UNESCO. So the latest represents the superlative. In this case, we added EST at the end of the word. Then we have the future continuous. Look at the example. By the year 2021, Costa Rica will be having sustainable practices with the goal to be the first carbon neutral country in the world. So in this case, we have the will plus the verb be and a verb in which we're going to add an ing ending. Will be having. Okay, very good job. Modals. Well, we have this example. Sustainability should be embedded deeply in the culture and traditions of Costa Rica. We're going to use should to give advice, okay, in order to do something. Then we have the connector for cause and effect. Look at the example. UNESCO declared Sabegre River a Biosphere Reserve because it reconciles the conservation of biodiversity with the proper use of natural resources. Here the connector we're using is the word because. We are connecting the first part of the sentence to the second one in which we're giving a reason. Okay, very good. With this in mind, let's review some important key vocabulary we need to complete our reading tasks for today. So let's pay attention. Okay, sustainability. Look at that, right? Very good. The social, environmental, and economic. They all go together in order to have to protect the planet. Renewable sources. It is one that can be used repeatedly and doesn't run out because it is naturally replaced, like the wind, the solar energy, wave, hydroelectric also energy, and the wood. Then we have the carbon neutral country, any system that absorbs more carbon than it emits. This is something, a practice we're trying to keep in Costa Rica. Biodiversity. It refers to all the variety of life that can be found on Earth. Natural resources. Natural resources are the resources that exist without any actions of humankind. And we have renewable energy and non-renewable energy. Environment. All our surroundings, including the air, soil, water, plants, and animals, make up the environment. It is everything around us. Like, and remember that plants and animals need a healthy environment to survive. Then we have protected natural land. It is an area designated as important and protected because of its biological diversity and natural or cultural resources. For example, natural reserves, wilderness areas, national parks, and natural monuments. Okay, very good. Now you have no important information. Let's start reading 4 short tests that make up a newsletter. And I'm going to show you, this is a newsletter that we're going to use today. Okay, very good. Look at this. But before, let's read the instructions together. Okay, task number 1. Read 4 short tests for the first time to get the gist and the purpose of the test. Choose the best option to answer the questions. Ask your family for help and do not forget to take notes. Okay, question number 1. What is the reading about? Option A, Costa Rica has become the first carbon neutral country in the world. B, Sabegro River was declared a Biosphere Reserve by UNESCO. And option C, Costa Rica has made great efforts to promote sustainable practices. Question number 2. What is the purpose of the newsletter? A, to inform the reader. B, to persuade the reader. And C, to entertain the reader. Okay, now that you know important information and you know the instructions, let's start reading for the first time. Do not forget to take notes and ask your family for help. Okay, Costa Rica achieves 2 new records in sustainability effort by Laura Alvarado, July 26, 2017. In just the first half of 2017, Costa Rica has reached a new record in clean energy production and received their latest Biosphere Reserve declaration by UNESCO, United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, solidifying their strong commitment to sustainability. In the last 30 years, renewable sources have been responsible for production of nearly 93% of Costa Rica's energy. But this July, they broke their own record. By the year 2021, Costa Rica will be having sustainable practice with the goal to be the first carbon neutral country in the world. Sustainability should be embedded deeply in the culture and traditions of Costa Rica. Another win for sustainability was earned in June when UNESCO declared Saavedra River a Biosphere Reserve. It was because it is a specially designated area for sustainable development that reconciles the conservation and biodiversity with the proper use of natural resources. It is clear that Costa Ricans are proud to live amongst and protect their country's rich environment. The small nation holds 5% of the world's known biodiversity, 3.5% of all marine life, and 30% of the country's territory is protected natural land. A pioneer in the area of sustainability, Costa Rica is a model for sustainable practice for many industries around the world. Okay, very interesting. Okay, did you get the main idea? Did you find the gist? Did you notice that the gist or the main idea is usually at the beginning of the test? Or did you find keywords to understand the test? Okay, very good. Let's check the answers together. Okay, question number 1. What is the reading about? The correct answer is option C. Costa Rica has made great efforts to promote sustainable practices. Very interesting. And question number 2. What is the purpose of the newsletter? Well, the purpose is option A, to inform the reader. Excellent job. Very good. I'm sure you could solve the answers and get the correct answers with the help of your family, right? And also, I'm sure you look for keywords, and then it was easy to find the gist and the correct answers, right? This is a good strategy to help us find the main ideas in a test. Okay, congratulations. What about completing another task? But before, let's pay attention to what we have to do. Okay, so it says, what is the reading about? Well, no, I'm sorry. This is for the information that we need to know in order to get details, okay? Later, we're going to see the instructions. Here it says, the reader can't afford to ignore anything because he or she doesn't know exactly what information of the reading passage will be necessary to complete the task. Don't ignore it. So now let's see the task. Number 2, we're going to read the tests for the second time to answer the following questions based on the information from the newsletter. So let's look at the questions. Question number 1. It says, what are the 2 new records mentioned in the article? Remember that this is important to take notes. Questions number 2, 3, and 4. How much of Costa Rica's energy comes from renewable sources? Question number 3. What is a Biosphere Reserve? And question number 4. How much % of the country's territory is protected natural land? Okay, very good. Now that you know how to get the details, you know the instructions, let's read the test for the newsletter for the second time. Pay close attention, remember to take notes, and ask your family for help. Okay, Costa Rica achieves 2 new records in sustainability effort. By Laura Alvarado, July 26, 2017. In just the first half of 2017, Costa Rica has reached a new record in clean energy production and received their latest Biosphere Reserve declaration by UNESCO, United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, solidifying their strong commitment to sustainability. In the last 30 years, renewable sources have been responsible for production of nearly 93% of Costa Rica's energy, but this July, they broke their own record. By the year 2021, Costa Rica will be having sustainable practices with the goal to be the first carbon-neutral country in the world. Sustainability should be embedded deeply in the culture and traditions of Costa Rica. Another win for sustainability was earned in June when UNESCO declared Sabegro River a Biosphere Reserve. It was because it is a specially designated area for sustainable development that reconciles the conservation of biodiversity with the proper use of natural resources. It is clear that Costa Ricans are proud to live amongst and protect their country's rich environment. The small nation holds 5% of the world's known biodiversity, 3.5% of all marine life, and 30% of the country's territory is protected natural land. A pioneer in the area of sustainability, Costa Rica is a model for sustainable practice for many industries around the world. Wow, I cannot stop thinking how interesting this article is, right? How was the task? Did you receive some help from your family? Did you get the gist and supporting details? Very good, let's check the answers. Okay, what are the two new records mentioned in the article? Production of clear energy and declaration of Sabegro River as a Biosphere Reserve. How much of Costa Rica's energy comes from renewable sources? 93% of our country's energy. Okay, look at that, it's a lot of percentage, right? Costa Rica is trying to get its energy from renewable sources. What's a Biosphere Reserve? Well, this is a specially designated area for sustainable development that reconciles the conservation of biodiversity with the proper use of natural resources. So, Sabegro River accomplishes with these requirements, okay? How much percent of the country's territory is protected natural land? Well, 30%, and this is a lot, right? Very good. Okay, you are great students, and this is a very nice topic that we should consider, right, in our own lives. So, now that we have read to learn more about sustainability practices in Costa Rica, let's complete the writing task I ask you to do at the beginning. Let's remember what you have to do. Okay, let's imagine a friend of yours from Europe is asking you about the sustainability efforts Costa Rica is making to protect the environment. So you are going to write a short reply in the form of an email telling him or her about the different actions that our country has taken to promote eco-friendly practices. Okay, very good. Now, what do you have to do? You are going to write an email to a friend of yours that is in Europe, and you are going to tell this guy about some sustainable practices Costa Rica is making, okay? But for doing this, you need to know how to write this email. So let's look at that. Okay, here you have the to, the from, the subject. In this case, the subject is sustainable efforts that Costa Rica is making. Then we have the date, and then you're going to start with a greeting. Well, the name of the person, dear, then the greeting, and then you have the body of the letter or the email. You can use the elements and vocabulary presented during the lesson, and then a leaf taken. Okay, before writing your email, let's read the email that Nasira, one of my students, sent to her friend Christopher. And do not forget to read yours to your family. Okay, this is to Christopher from Nazira. Subject, sustainable efforts that Costa Rica is making. Date, Friday, December 4th, 2020. Dear Chris, how's it going? I am so excited to tell you about two of the efforts about sustainability that Costa Rica is making. Some of the different actions that our country has taken to promote eco-friendly practices are 93% of Costa Rica's energy comes from renewable sources, and there is a Biosphere Reserve that is a specially designated area for a sustainable development that reconciles the conservation of biodiversity with the proper use of natural resources, so that Costa Rica received the latest Biosphere Reserve declaration by UNESCO. By the year 2021, Costa Rica will be having sustainable practices with the goal to be the first carbon neutral country in the world. Very interesting, right? Anyway, I love we can get together soon to catch up. Looking forward to hearing from you, Nazira. Okay, interesting, right? How was yours? Well, it's time to self-assess what we did during today's lesson. Well, did I pay attention during the whole lesson? Did I finish the reading tasks proposed? Did I write the email and read it to my family? And then let's self-assess what we learned today. Did I identify topic in simple, clearly draft newsletter? Did I recognize keywords in the newsletter? Did I get the gist in this newsletter? Did I distinguish relevant information from non-relevant information in the newsletter? So we have come to the end. I have a question for you for this. Okay, are you going to keep these practices in your house? Well, it was very nice to have you here. See you next week here in Aprenda en Casa. Bye-bye.